In the ancient, mist-wreathed lands of Eldoria, where silver streams wound through enchanted forests and the mountains breathed secrets, there lived a young adventurer named Blaze. Born to humble farmers on the outskirts of the kingdom of Lysandria, Blaze's destiny shimmered brighter than the ordinary lives of his kin. From his earliest days, he was fascinated by the legends whispered around glowing hearths, tales of valor, magic, and forbidden love. I, the call to adventure Blaze was no ordinary youth. With hair the color of smoldering embers and eyes that shone like polished topaz, he radiated both warmth and an unyielding spirit. His lean, athletic form belied the strength and determination that lay within. The kingdom had recognized in him the spark of a hero, one fated to confront the gathering darkness beyond their borders. It was during the festival of the harvest moon that Blaze's destiny was sealed. High in the marble halls of Lysandria Castle, King Alaric summoned Blaze. The council of wise advisors and battle-hardened generals spoke with grave urgency. A demon queen, infamous across the lands for her tragic beauty and terrible power, had risen from the deepest abyss of myth to challenge the kingdom's very existence. This queen, known by whispered names such as Lilithara and Morwenna among the fearful, was rumored to dwell in a labyrinthine fortress of obsidian and blackened glass. Blaze was charged, by royal decree and by the hearts of his people, to vanquish this fiend and secure Lysandria's future. 2. The Journey Beyond the Veil. With little more than his trusted sword, Emberbane, a blade said to burn with the light of 1,000 dying stars, and a heart full of both fervent hope and reluctant trepidation, Blaze left his pastoral home. Along the way, he encountered wise hermits, eccentric wizards, and creatures both gentle and grim. These travelers enriched him with lore about the Demon Queen. Tales spoke of her in tones of both reverence and despair. They painted a picture of a formidable ruler, cloaked in mystery and power, whose own beginnings were steeped in tragedy and loss. Blaze's journey was fraught with peril. He fought shadow beasts in the twilight forests, navigated the treacherous, shifting sands of the Whispering Desert, and scaled the icy cliffs of the Frostfang Mountains. Each step honed his prowess and deepened his understanding of the world's complexities. Yet, beneath every challenge, a subtle sense of inevitability stirred inside him, as if fate had etched a secret path that wound inexorably toward his destiny. 3. The Enchanted Encounter. After many moons and countless trials, Blaze finally approached the dreaded fortress where the Demon Queen resided. Amid tumultuous skies and swirling mists, he found himself before a towering obsidian gate, ancient runes glowing faintly along its surface. With trepidation mingled with unwavering resolve, he strode forward, expecting confrontation and combat. Inside the fortress, the air was heavy with arcane energy and sorrowful echoes of lost dreams. Amid a cavernous chamber illuminated by a spectral light, Blaze's eyes met those of the Demon Queen, an encounter that would alter the course of his life. Lilithara, as she revealed herself to be, was strikingly different than the monstrous caricature depicted in fearful ballads. Her ebony hair, flowing like liquid midnight, framed a face of ethereal beauty. Deep, amethyst eyes, both piercing and tender, held centuries of wisdom and pain. Her lithe, graceful form was adorned in intricate robes that shimmered with arcane symbols, and her presence exuded a dignity born of centuries of ruling a realm that teetered on the edge between despair and hope. When their gazes locked, time itself seemed to falter. Blaze was taken aback not by a surge of combat readiness, but by the profound sorrow and longing he saw within her eyes. In that suspended moment, the summons to battle gave way to an inexplicable empathy, a realization that their souls, though seemingly fated to collide in conflict, resonated with a mutual loneliness and hope. Avre V, a bond forged in fate. Instead of drawing Emberbane, Blaze lowered his weapon. He stepped forward, his voice gentle and earnest. I came to end your reign, but I see now that behind the legends lies a story of grief and resilience. Tell me, Queen, what binds you to this darkness? His words, spoken with unyielding sincerity, bridged the chasm between predator and prey. Lilithara's heart, long armored against the cruelty of fate, softened in the glow of his compassion. She revealed the tragic tapestry of her past. A princess of a demon realm forsaken by her kin, misunderstood and cast out for her attempts to forge peace between disparate worlds. Cursed by a seer's foresight, her existence was intertwined with sorrow and isolation, destined to wear a mask of tyranny even when her heart cried out for love and connection. Each scar on her soul was a testament to battles fought not only against armies of foes, but against the prejudice of her own kind. As she spoke, the room filled with the resonance of her voice, carrying the weight of centuries. Blaze, in turn, unfolded his own tale, a story of a simple boy turned warrior, burdened by the expectation of heroism and the loss of those he loved. His journey was driven not by a desire for glory, but by a promise to his kin and a hope to sculpt a kinder destiny for his world. The empathy they discovered in each other was immediate and profound, a spark that grew into a blazing conflagration of shared dreams and unspoken truths. The Forbidden Romance. Over days that stretched into weeks beneath an enchanted sky, Blaze remained in the Demon Queen's presence. Their conversations blended strategy, poetry, and the exploration of each other's wounded pasts. In the quiet corridors of the Obsidian Fortress, amidst ancient murals depicting lost histories, their souls intertwined. What began as mutual understanding blossomed into a love that defied every decree and shattered long-held beliefs. Their romance, however, was not without challenges. The kingdom of Lysandria had sent Blaze on a righteous quest, and the worlds of man and demon were bitter adversaries by tradition and blood. Yet the natural world has long taught that true love is an alchemy transcending boundaries. In secret twilight meetings and under the shimmering glimmer of enchanted waterfalls, Blaze and Lilithara confessed their love, their hopes entwined as delicately as the vines in an ancient woodland grove. A union beyond war. As their connection deepened, so too did the transformation of their realms. Blaze's unwavering optimism began to breathe life into a heart long corrupted by despair, while Lilithara's enigmatic strength awakened in him a deeper understanding of compassion and sacrifice. Defying prophecy and shattering the chains of preconceived enmity, their bond became a living testament to the possibility of unity, even between those once seen as irreconcilable enemies. In time, their love blossomed into the creation of new life. The union of mortal and immortal, human and demon, birthed children with the rare gifts of both worlds. Each child was a marvel, possessing the mortal resilience of their father and the ethereal grace of their mother. Their offspring, each blessed with unique talents, became living symbols of hope, uniting fractured communities under the banner of peace. Some inherited a fiery spirit and the gift of healing, others the arcane mastery and natural affinity with the wild. They spoke in a tongue that echoed both the pragmatic cadence of human speech and the melodious ancient incantations of the demon realm. The royal court in Lysandria was aghast at the news, and whispers of betrayal and blasphemy filled the corridors of power. Yet even as political forces conspired to see the alliance undone by centuries-old grudges, the very lands began to change. The deep-rooted bitterness between two worlds started to erode, replaced by cautious dialogue and hopes for reconciliation. Blaze, with his gentle heart and courageous spirit, and Lilithara, with her commanding wisdom and empathetic soul, took it upon themselves to mediate a peace that had long been a distant dream. Ashva 7. Trials of Unity. Peace, however, is not born without trials. Their newfound alliance was tested by external forces. A coalition of dark sorcerers threatened to disrupt the fragile balance, and extremist factions within both human and demon societies rejected the notion of harmony. Blaze and Lilithara led their children in campaigns not of war, but of diplomacy and healing. They traveled back to Lysandria, where Blaze pleaded with the people to look beyond old prejudices, and they went to the hidden enclaves of Demonkin, where Lilithara reminded her kind of a gentler past and the beauty of unity. Throughout these turbulent times, love was their guiding star. Blaze's compassion softened hardened hearts, while Lilithara's resilience and wisdom inspired courage in the face of adversity. In heartfelt speeches beneath the ancient arches of Lysandria's Grand Hall, the couple recounted their love as a clarion call to embrace differences and build a future anew. Their combined legacy inspired not only their children, but an entire generation disillusioned by endless conflict. Vate, the legacy of the flame and the night. In the twilight of their years, Blaze and Lilithara found solace in the success of their union. The blended bloodlines of their descendants gave rise to a new era in Eldoria, a time when the boundaries between light and dark, mortal and immortal, were blurred by the sheer force of love and understanding. Fields once scorched by bitterness now bloomed with vibrant life. Towers of ancient stone echoed with laughter and music, and the legends of old were rewritten into stories of unity, compassion, and transformation. Their children, each a radiant beacon in a world reborn, continued to carry the message of hope forward. They embarked on quests of their own, mending fractures that remained in the tapestry of society, healing wounds that had festered for generations, and learning from both the mortal and mystical realms. The family that had once been considered an abomination became the cornerstone for a renaissance of empathy and cultural exchange. Ike's Epilogue, A New Dawn. Years blended into decades, and the saga of Blaze and Lilithara became a cherished myth, one that parents recited to their children beneath starlit skies. The heroic tale was not one solely of war or conquest, but of the transcendent power of love. In the songs sung by bards along winding roads and the epic murals painted on the walls of ancient citadels, the legacy of the young adventurer and the fallen demon queen shone brighter than any crown or blade. Blaze's journey from a humble farm boy to a beacon of change was mirrored perfectly in Lilithara's evolution from a feared tyrant to a symbol of redemption. Together, they defied the inexorable edicts of fate. In the ancient, mist-wreathed lands of Eldoria, where silver streams wound through enchanted forests and the mountains breathed secrets, there lived a young adventurer named Blaze.